As you guys know, a lot of people when they book a spring wedding, they expect spring weather. But the thing is, you know, in New Jersey, there's like two summers and two springs, right? Like
Mhm.
there's like fake spring and then real spring. And I think there might even be like two fake springs. But in any case, they were banking on the fact that they might have some nice weather for their wedding day. It was not the case. It was cold, windy, and wet. And the thing was, this particular client had planned her wedding for like 2 years in advance. She had planned
Mm.
everything down to the minute. And unfortunately, she didn't get the weather that she thought she was going to get. And not only that, uh,
Should have paid extra
well, paid extra for what? Paid extra got nothing to do with anything.
for good weather. I include nice weather in my top collection.
Where this couple got married, there is a train station down the street, and that's usually a good backup situation in case of rain, inclement weather is too hot or too cold or whatever. We can go to this train station. But she's like, I don't really want to. I don't really want to take pictures of this train station, right? I don't want to be in it, near it, or anything like that. I was like, okay, what do you want? She's like, I
But
want. Oh,
you have no choice.
I was like, well, I mean, we could shoot inside the venue. That's an option too, which is fine. But she's like,
There's
I
not
want.
much there. There's not
Well,
much to do there.
well, I mean, that is what it is. But she's like, what I really want is a lot of photos of the city skyline. I want lots of photos. I was like, it's windy, rainy, and wet. You don't want to be outside. So she wants to shoot everything inside. I was like, when you're inside and the city's outside, I can't get it.
Oh no,
It's gonna be blown out. I got to use lights. She's like, okay, then use lights. I was like, okay, fine, I'll use
it's
lights.
tiny.
But not
It's
only that,
tiny.
well, well, that's besides the point. There was a fog that was covering the entire skyline. You can't even
Oh
see it.
man.
You can't even see it with your bare eyes. What do you think my cameras are going to do that's going to give you the city if you can't even see the city? You know what I mean? Like I'm not
No.
sure what they're expecting or hoping to see. So, but in any case, I was like, it was so fun. She's like, yeah, I know that the city is behind the clouds right now, but do you think that the city will show up in the photos? I was like, I don't like. I wish I could tell you otherwise, but I don't think so. The attendant was like, "Oh yeah, of course. You just gotta wait till later at night, and you can see the city lights and stuff like that." Trying to calm her down. She's like, "Ben, she's already stressed out right now. Why are you trying to stress her out
No.
more now?"
See, for moments like that's I'm terrible at trying to find calm. I would have said what you see is what my camera sees. Like I would have told him just
That's
like
pretty
that.
much what I said. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm not sure what
yeah.
you want me to tell you. I can't even see with my own eyes right now. So you want me to pull the city out of the clouds? I'm not sure what you want me to do. So
You're
so
gonna do some
anyway,
AI magic after.
yeah. Actually, I've tried that before. It's terrible. Finally, we got a little bit of a break. It stopped raining for a little bit. We could finally see the city. Hey, you want to go out? And then it was, I was like, oh, I want to say hi to my friends first. Can I come back in 15 minutes? I was like, 15 minutes, there's going to be no light. So I did what I could. So that was my Saturday, right? That was my Saturday.
Mhm.
Oh, and not only that, here's the other thing, right? They had me extra for 30 minutes, which was fine. They paid for that, but they used up all of those 30 minutes. And I had to give another 30 minutes on top because, we didn't get all our work done. The cake didn't come out till late. She didn't have her party dress on till much later. So we had to stay a little extra. So this is the part of the service component of what we do as wedding photographers that a lot of people don't talk
Yeah.
about. A lot of people think that we're just out here taking pretty photos and things like that. That is true. That part is true, and we're also running a business. But at the same time, we're very much in the service industry. Karis and I, we tell everyone that we're no different than the barber, the taxi driver, the Uber driver, just anyone who's providing a service. These cameras are just the tools of our jobs. At the end of the day, we want happy customers. So if that means we got to stay a little extra, 30 minutes or
Mhm.
whatever, well, 30 minutes is a lot. It's very generous, but say an extra 30 minutes to take care of work, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
what would
We
you
worked with
guys
a
have done?
videographer that we would have done the same. We always stay a little bit longer
Of
sometimes
course,
if needed.
I mean, yeah. Like if I feel that I haven't gotten what I need
Hmm.
at the minimum of what I need, especially like reception, because that's what we're talking about, like
Right.
staying in enough to capture everything that happened in the reception.
Hmm.
There's some parties like within the first hour, like I'm like I could go home. I got everything I need here, right?
Hmm.
But then there's some weddings where things are scheduled, like they space it out so much that sometimes you have to stay there extra 15, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. It
Hmm.
happens.
That
But
happens. Yeah.
as a business owner, you have no problem staying. As an associate or second, it's a little bit different, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
told
I
my
was gonna say
second.
we worked
Yeah.
with
Go
a
ahead.
videographer. that you worked with after the next day that he worked with you. He was like stressing. He was like, I don't have enough portrait time, and they have like an 8-minute film. How am I going to stretch this out into 8 minutes?
Slow mo. Slow mo.
Yeah, we shared
It's
a
one of
video
those-
team. Yeah, we shared a video team that weekend. I got him on Saturday. You guys got him on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had no portrait time. He for sure didn't get any portrait time. With you guys, you know, he had all the portrait time in the world, making me look bad, guys. You guys are making me look very bad.
We had a better day than you though, weather-wise. But
Yeah.
yeah, April has been showering crazy. So.
Yeah.
It's also like there's more indoor options at this place as well
hmm
when the weather's not nice. And then we were the only wedding that day, which is like rare
hmm
for this venue.
hmm
So we have free reign everywhere. You know, it's different circumstances, and
hmm Yeah.
it's tough sometimes, but we find a way to make it work.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I think I almost got canceled in my own community, my own photo community, for speaking out, you know, against just negative energy. That's all I was doing. There was a lot of negative energy that was out there in the universe. And I was like, guys, cut it out. You know, it's not as bad. I'm not trying to gaslight anyone, but I was like, you know, it is a funny year. Everyone's just a little bit slower, but it's not like doom and gloom like everyone is saying that it is. There are a lot of our peers who are thriving. They don't say very much on social media. They stay very quiet, but they are doing amazing things. And the common denominator in what they're doing is that they're figuring it out. They are making it work, and they are seeing what they can do in their own businesses to survive whatever we're going through right now. Instead of using that energy to complain, they're using that energy to see what they can do to fix their business. So I said that out loud. Nobody wanted to say this out loud. I said it out loud. and then the pitchforks came out, right? I'm like, guys, relax, you know? Like, just because other people are successful doesn't mean that we're poo-pooing on you, you know what I mean? Like, sort of, kind of I am, but not really, you know? Like, you're poo-pooing on yourself. Don't be mad that other people are successful. You should celebrate that and be curious.
I was watching a review for the White Lotus finale,
Uh-huh.
and there was a couple in that show, and this person reviewing the episode was describing their relationship, right? And this person said it kind of clicked when this person said it. It said you can't change what happened, but you can change your perception of what happened, of what
Mhm.
happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is perfect. Like for what's happening in this industry, like people are just spreading the fear of like, oh my god, this is like the industry's falling, and you better lower your price, instead of saying, all right guys, we're gonna get by this. Like, let's change some things, let's regroup, do this, do that. But that's not happening. And when you made your post, that's what I took it as. I was like, hey guys, like, let's relax a little bit, let's think about what we need to work on, and let's move forward. There are people doing good,
Mm-hmm.
so that's a good sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people took it as like, oh my god, people are bragging about how well they're doing. How about like just letting us vent? We want to vent, which is
Mm-hmm.
okay. But now it's like every time I log into these groups, it's all negativity of like venues are closing, which is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Photographers are jumping ship and getting jobs. Some of that is true, but like instead of just dwelling on that, let's just, you know, think otherwise. Let's put some more positive energy out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone's kind of forgot like everything we've been through in the past. How many years? There
4 or
was
5 years?
2008. There was
Oh, 2008.
2020.
You're going way back.
There was. Well, I mean, I wasn't working, but people who've been working since that long have said that, you know, we went through the first recession. We went through the first election with
Mm-hmm.
he who shall not be named. And we went through COVID. And now we're going through he who should not be named again. So
Uh-huh.
it's like, but they're freaking like it's a cyclical thing. They just freak out every time. But we've all kind of pushed through and made it work. And those who really put in the work and hold themselves accountable, they're doing what they have to do. And there's people who just want to spend their time online being negative and Debbie Downers. But
Yeah.
it is
But
what it
but
is.
speaking of people who are thriving, we have a very special guest for us
and
for
can't wait
today's
to get to his
episode.
perspective because he's our friend in the north. So
Yeah. He basically lives in America's hat. He's like America's hat, you know? So on that note, are you guys ready to get this started?
Yes, we are.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
All right, guys, welcome to the Focus AF podcast. My name is Ben,
This is Karis.
Jen.
And this is Ro.
and we are Focused
Awesome.
AF. I am Focused AF today, for sure. 100%.
I have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Well, we're still in recovery mode. We went to a Whippa
What is this?
Gala.
Me.
We.
I am in recovery mode.
So we went to the Whippa Gala yesterday. So we were doing what you guys were doing about a month ago when you guys went to Vegas. And, went out networking, partying, eating, learning, all that good stuff, right? And you shared with the crew that you guys met this legendary figure from Canada. This guy is going to be like our best international superstar that we've ever had on the show, right? So tell me a little bit about
No pressure.
tell me a little bit about how you met this guy, and tell me about your interactions with him at the show and everything. Give me all the details.
Yeah, so we met this individual in the hallways of WPPI. Our friend Abby introduced us to him. And right away, we just knew when meeting Rabih, he's very infectious, great energy, was just very excited to be there, loved talking about the awards process but in a very humble way. And just the energy that he gives off was very, like I mentioned, infectious. We just wanted to hang out with him and we got to know him a little bit. And then, I'll let him talk about it, but then he wound up winning the grand award for weddings. And it was very exciting to see him win. I think we, even having just met him, felt a sense of pride of when he won. We were very excited for him. So
It was also good timing because we had just came from the judging room and they were judging wedding portraits, right? Was it the wedding day category?
Yeah.
Bride and groom. And there was one image that kind of had everybody talking. And this image didn't even have a bride and groom. It had their hands, just their hands, right? So that was one thing that just kind of caught everybody's eye right away. And the impact the image had was tremendous. So fast forward, we leave the room and we bump into whose image it was in the hallway. And that was awesome. It was perfect timing. And he just like Jen said, we started chatting and he was just so excited. And then he tells us that's his image. And I'm like, holy shit, that's going to win first place. And from then on, we bumped into him throughout the whole convention and we were just cheering him on. And he actually won the grand award, first place for bride and groom wedding day. And then he won the grand award for all the wedding day categories, which was pretty awesome, and it caught him by surprise as well. So it was awesome to kind of hear somebody's story, see their passion and love for the career path that we have, and then seeing them prosper in an unexpected way was amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So without further ado, we have Rabih Madi.
Welcome.
Da-da-da-da. Welcome.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, thank you for the great intro, everyone. Unexpected, but yeah, it is so true. The way I met you in the hallway, I think, yeah, through from friends, and then we kind of clicked. You guys were so awesome, so open, and once we found out which image is from each one of us, we were kind of, I don't know. I feel in awe between each other's images, and the fact that we are competing with each other, but at the same time we're pushing each other at the same time.
Yep.
So I really like that feeling of growth, in our industry. And so yeah, and it was a crazy moment, I gotta admit, but yeah, it was really a good pleasure to meet you guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, same here.
How long have you been going to WPPI? How long have you been shooting?
So no, shooting and going is different things. So I've been going to WPPI for 10 years.
Okay.
But I missed 2 years during COVID because of the 1 year they stopped it or something. I forget. Shooting, I think I've been shooting for like 14 years, but doing professional weddings, uh, I would say around 10 years as well,
Mm-hmm.
where I've been doing it way more seriously.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like before, I used to assist or like do a shoot here and there. I used to do baptisms
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like this. I don't do anymore. I don't have time too much now, but uh, I did dabble a little bit before that.
Mm. As we all
Yeah.
did, I
So
think.
give us your whole background. Tell us
Oh,
about how you got into photography, how you found your way into weddings.
so yeah, it's crazy. I was in finance. My background is in finance.
Ah,
Yeah,
me
I'm
too.
born in. Oh yeah, okay, nice. No, I'm born in Saudi Arabia. Actually, I've been
Mm.
raised there for about 13 years.
Mm.
13, 12 years, 12 years. Uh, and then since my dad was there, so we're like expats, like you're in like a compound with all the expats, I guess. But uh, there wasn't much for us to do, especially in the 80s, and the universities back then were not too international back then compared to now.
Mhm.
So my mom couldn't work and stuff like this. So we decided to move, and we came to Florida a little bit, and then we went to Montreal, Canada. And we chose Montreal because it's French as well, and I was studying French and English and Arabic in Saudi Arabia, so it's easier to integrate when you know these languages. And then after that, actually, it's because of my ex that I went into photography. uh,
What's that story?
well, when she broke up with me, my dad was in Dubai. He was working in Dubai, and he goes to me. He's like, "Hey, come here for a month. Let's chill, and then look for work here and stuff like that." So I went. He bought me my first camera, my first DSLR,
What'd you
and I
get?
started taking.
What'd you get?
He gave me a D90, Nikon D90.
Ooh, let's
Ooh,
go back.
it's nicer than
Y-
mine. I had a D80.
yeah, I started off with a D60.
Oh, really? Yeah, but so I used it for a little bit, and I took actually. The funniest thing is that I went back to Dubai the year after, to Abu Dhabi actually, where my dad's work is, and I had switched it from D90 to D700, uh,
Ooh, nice.
which
That's
I
what I
still
did
have.
too. That's what I did.
Yeah, I still
Yep.
Oh,
have
the
it here.
D700.
The
I'm
700?
not.
It's a
Yeah,
tank.
it's a tank. It has over
Yeah.
1 million clicks, and
Oh
it
my
still
god.
works.
I'm so sad I sold mine for like I think $100 or so, or $200.
Me,
I should have kept it.
it's
I should
still
have kept
here.
it. I should have kept it. I'm so
You have your,
sad.
don't you have your D4s?
No, yeah, I do have my D4s, but that's irrelevant. But like I have
Ew.
the D80 that my wife gave me on our wedding gift. I still have that. I'm never selling that.
Yeah,
But that's a D80. But yeah,
It's probably worth
wow.
$10.
What, the
yeah.
D80?
And
Yeah, it's not worth
Not
selling.
what's
even.
funniest
Not
part
even.
What's funniest part is that in Abu Dhabi, I took the picture of the Sheikh Zayed Mosque
Uh-huh.
uh, there, which was still almost, it was done, but almost done. And I got my highest score at WPPI back then, which I got
Nice.
Oh, get out of here.
yeah, with that image that I took like 12 years ago.
Wow.
It's crazy. And
Nice.
it was my highest scoring image to date at WPPI.
You know my
That's
highest score to date? My highest score to date
They
is
they
79.
have a shirt for you. They have a shirt for you now.
Oh, they do.
I've
They have a
I've
shirt.
submitted several times, and the highest score I ever got was a 79.
So I've gotten so many 79s. I can't
Oh, me
even
too.
anymore. But yeah, so it was a cool journey, and then I fell in love with it, doing finance and photography. But then photography started taking over, traveling,
Uh-huh.
taking pictures, and I realized I used to do like some corporate work or some, like, let's say, call it fashion,
Hmm.
but it's not the same as the emotion part of the day, the raw moments of a wedding day.
Hmm.
And I really fell in love with that branch of photography.
Hmm.
And yeah, uh, since then I've been doing that, and it's been going well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you get your first wedding, and how much did you charge?
Oh my god! I remember my first wedding is my friend who I was assisting a few times. I think I was getting like $100 or 150 for the full day for like 10 hours or 12 hours of work, like getting paid almost nothing.
That's
But
2.5
again,
Moses Cruises. You can still get 2.5 Moses Cruises for that money.
no, but it's crazy. You can. I look at how much we used to pay back then compared to now. It's a whole different, like, everything changed,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
But then then he told me, hey, listen, there's a couple who they don't mind having an amateur. They don't have the budget. Do you want to take it? I'm like, yeah, let me try. Like, I have nothing to lose. If I show you the images, I still have them of my first images of my first wedding. It was the craziest, most like, how selective color and sepia and
Oh,
all this.
Yes.
yes.
Did all of that, and I also have one. The next wedding after that, like, they were like kind of related. I did the dinosaur thing. Remember the dinosaur with the?
I still do the
Oh,
dinosaur thing.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I still have it, and I actually show it at my talks. Every time I show it, I'm like, look, I
There's all
started like
that is the only reason why you should be using Photoshop. That and cats.
That's it.
Robbie, let me tell you something. My 15 minutes of fame came from, there's a website called Brides Throwing Cats. So basically, you Photoshop out the bouquet and you just have a cat that's just flying in the air. I get special requests. Hey Ben, I saw that picture on Instagram. Can I get one too? You got it. So I make at least one or two every single year. Hey, but Molinas, did you know? Fun fact: Karis also grew up in Saudi Arabia. Did you guys know that?
Wow.
No.
Well, I didn't grow up there. We lived there for like 3 years.
Wow.
That counts as growing up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where?
Is that what you went after Korea?
Yeah, from Korea went to Saudi. My dad was always there, like since I was baby. So he was there, coming back and forth. And then he finally, decided to bring his whole family. He was in like architect companies, so he finally decided to bring the whole family there. We moved Riyadh.
Riyadh.
Yep,
Riyadh.
we were there. Yep.
Fun fact: you
Yep.
guys didn't know that, did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a really fun
Trivia.
fact. You should have said two truths and a lie. That would have been good. But,
I would play that game too, but everything that I would say would sound like a lie, complete lie. I have some ridiculous things in my file.
Tell us about like how your style kind of evolved from dinosaurs to how you shoot now, and give us your approach to photography now.
yeah, that's a good thing. I was never really that great in Photoshop, to be honest with you, and so I always like to have something more in the simple rather than the complicated. So I really love to work with negative space and have a lot of like just leading the lines towards the subject. That's all, nothing too complicated. Not because I didn't like it. I actually love to try those, but it's just that I felt I was more at ease with doing something clean and like not too oversaturated or complicated. And because I didn't like to Photoshop, some of the images I used to do like liquify and stuff like this. I don't even know anything much more than I didn't know how to use masking or any of those like stuff. So, and I'm like, you know what? Let me continue with simple. And I felt like a lot of people really love the simplistic of, it's funny to say this, is that I follow some photography rules, like rule of the thirds or negative space or reflection, and it actually works to attract the people a lot when you follow them in a way. And now I follow them unconsciously, but it really helped attract the people to look where you want them to look. And I felt now when people see my images, especially in my area, they know it's mine because they know that's how I want them to see the image. So I just went by what got a lot of attention. One of the biggest one that got attention was the bride praying, like a Pakistani bride that was praying in front of the mirror in the hotel before going to get married. and everything was black, but the mirror had like an LED around it. You know those mirrors with that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so everything was black except her, and I was behind her, and I shot her, and that got a lot of attention. I was like, oh my god, so simple, but at the same time, you can tell the emotion, and I'm like, oh, you know
Mhm.
what, people love that,
Mhm.
you know, and I continued like that, I guess. Yeah.
I'm going through the portfolio now because I don't know which images were submitted. When you guys said the two hands that got the award, is it the vertical image where you just see the
Yeah.
hands
Yes.
Yes.
and they're popping in through
Yeah.
the walls?
Mhm.
That's an amazing image. Look, goosebumps, guys. I'm seeing it for the first time. That's amazing, guys. Oh my
Well,
god.
tell the story about why their hands aren't touching.
Yeah. So a lot of the Jewish culture, I shoot a lot of weddings that are either Arabic, Jewish, multicultural, let's say, right?
Mhm.
I don't shoot a lot of like just American weddings or Canadian weddings, just like simple. Over the years, I learned that there's different, how do you say it, levels of, I forgot the words.
Like
It's
cultural, like not traditions, but like
yeah, kind of tradition, but how much the bride and groom follow them. You know how devoted they are to it.
Mm.
So, but
How
so
orthodox,
some,
how orthodox they are.
exactly. For
Yeah.
example, yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
So there's like different types, right? In Jewish, like there's Orthodox, Ashkenazi, like all these, like the
Yep.
Moroccan,
Correct.
and so you go like this, right? So one of them, well, they're not allowed to touch before the wedding ceremony, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, some of them don't see each other, some of them do see each other. So you have to come up with some sort of ideas, some ways to be able to to get some images for them, even if they can't touch, or else like they hired you for that, so you got to be creative. So it's a little bit more difficult
Yeah.
to
I was
try to
gonna
come
say
up with
that.
like. So you have to play a lot with depth,
The foreground and
yeah, like the groom in back or the groom in the front,
yeah.
or very close to each other but without touching.
Mhm.
But as soon as they're married, they can touch. So we did some stuff there while they're holding hands as well. But for this image, since they can't, right? So actually, this is not a door. This is a metal structure in a park. Uh, yeah, like random place. And the metal structure actually has like some graffiti on it and stuff like this. So
You have to clean it up a little bit.
yeah, and there was a sunlight hitting the middle, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? That could be really cool to have them walk towards each other, and then they get close to each other like they're gonna kiss, but without kissing. So we tried that, and I took a few of those images, and it turned out really nice. But then I'm like, while she was walking, she was like doing the hand like this, or him, I forget who first. But then I'm like, oh, you know what? That could be really cool to actually do, like they're gonna go touch and up to the fingertip. So we tried it, but I always wanted to do the action, because if you leave them like this, it doesn't look natural.
Right.
True. Yeah.
Right, and so that's it, and it came out. We tried it like I think a few times, and I really wanted to have that creaminess in the columns, so I put it at 1.2, the shot. So it was shot at 85 1.2. So I was really
Wow.
like
Shallow.
30 feet behind to be able to get
Mhm.
them all in focus. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Nice.
and that's how the idea came about. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's an
What
amazing
what I, lo-
picture.
what I love about the image is like, so me and Jen, like we take pictures every now and then, but if you go through our house, we have some pictures of ourselves, but we don't like blowing up pictures of ourselves. Like
Yeah.
it just feels weird for us. But if my photographer took that on my wedding, I would make that a huge print because it looks like an art piece, and you can't even tell that it's us,
Yeah.
right? But it is us, which is cool.
Yeah.
So an image like that, I think a lot of couples will love something like that, hanging in their homes and stuff. Pretty awesome.
100%. And since then, I've been realized. Wow, I realized that it kind of reflects on how I was shooting and how I am shooting now. So before, I don't know if you guys were the same, but I used to have in my head a list like, okay, put the shoes on the piano, or put the shoes on the bench. Okay, now the ring on the table, and now so you're doing like a kind of a list that you wanted to shoot to deliver to the
Yep.
clients. But then I realized it's way better to have details in action, right?
Yes.
So
Oh yeah.
so now more and more, all the ring shots, the shoe shots, all this, I like to have them with interaction with the human
Mm-hmm.
factor
Yep.
of the
Yep.
wedding. since it's a bit more natural than just have it. I still take it details, but it won't be anymore my main focus
Yep.
of the wedding
That's
day.
At least
Yep.
showing them. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So for example, if the bride she has really beautiful shoes. Like I have one shot that I really love. She's holding her shoes because her shoes are all sparkly and against like high key and stuff like this. And I'm like, you know what? Act as if you're holding them and walking to go put them on, and then I just take the details of those and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see it. And
actually have a story.
I see it. And then she's got a tattoo on her finger and everything. And it
Well,
just all
actually,
looks.
that tattoo is a henna. It's part of
Ah.
the wedding as well.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So it's all
So-
extra meaningful. Is that all extra
That's it.
meaningful?
So
Mhm.
there's the ring, the dress, the shoes, and the henna. So there's 4
Mhm.
details in one, right?
Mhm.
So,
Love that.
so it's a bit more meaningful than just putting the shoes somewhere, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I'm actually going to talk
Didn't you
about.
guys
Oh, go
learn?
ahead.
Didn't you guys learn about something like that yesterday at the WIPA thing about?
Yeah, exactly.
they were
That's. I was actually getting
flat
right into
waist,
that. I was
yeah.
getting right. So actually, this is something that we learned yesterday. So it was a mastermind yesterday. We were talking about market trends and things that are changing in the industry. What are the expectations? And thank God, some of these things are considered outdated now, like hanging the dress on the window or like putting the shoes on a chair or
That's it.
something like that,
Uh-huh.
right? Those things were the expectation maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but the couples these days, they're not really looking so much for that stuff. And in fact, the editors at these magazines and these publications, they're not looking for that stuff either. Also, they were like, if you guys send us one more photo of a bridesmaid on her knees, buckling the shoes of the bride, right? There are going to be heads rolling if you guys continue to submit that image. So they were like, what the clients are really valuing these days, and I'll talk about it tonight as well, is that they're valuing authenticity, although you can't use that word in your copy, right? But what they're valuing is something that's a little bit more organic. They want emotions and motion, right? They don't want the stationary stuff anymore. They want to feel the images as much as they're pretty. You know what I mean? Pretty alone is not going to cut it because there's a lot of pretty things out there on the internet. So when they look at the image, it has to be like, oh my gosh, this is giving me the goosebumps, right? That's what they're looking for. So anyway, yeah. So as far as detail shots go, you heard it here first. Well, yeah, you heard it here first. No more hanging dress shots. No more shoe shots on chairs and things like that. Even
Well,
flat lays.
you should still shoot it, include it in the gallery because
I
bride and
agree.
groom.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. So basically, since we're in digital era now,
Mhm.
it's always good to show up 5-10 minutes earlier, do these shots that are not really meaningful to you as a
Mhm,
photographer, but they might be for the bride or groom or the mother, because I've done a lot of weddings. I do a lot of, like I said, ethnic weddings, and since COVID, people traveling with visas and whatnot is a little bit more difficult. So and a lot of them that come from home countries, a lot of the traditions are important. So how I put my mindset is in between you guys. So basically shoot it for them, but for your portfolio, concentrate on the emotion side and the and the human factor of a wedding. So if you want to do details that are meaningful, then yes, I agree. I agree that you need to think outside the box than just putting the shoe, because they can send me the shoe to my home. I have nice little setups here, and I can take beautiful shots. So I think you're both right.
Yes.
Well, that's my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. I don't, but because you never know what the other people is thinking.
Right.
Like, for example, I have a perfect example. If you have 1 minute to share that,
Yeah, of course.
We have an hour and a half.
is imagine when we used to get mad when we see families with their phones filming on the wedding day.
Mhm.
And I when I first started, I started getting mad. But then I shot a picture that won a little prize, not too big, but it means so much. The mother called me from Armenia crying because I took a picture of her. She couldn't get a visa to come see the wedding. So I took a picture of her zooming
On the screen.
the bride, and I took the picture of the screen while she's crying.
Mhm.
So for me, it's like, now I know we used to like shun phones, no phones, but then I'm like, but there's a story behind it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
maybe most of them are just doing it and they're not paying attention, but you might get that gem sometimes where, like, you know what? Maybe there's a real reason this person is really taking the phone and is really concentrating. And she was beside me for a long time, and if it was like 5 years ago, I would have been mad. But now I'm like, okay, there's a reason she's stuck beside me.
Mhm.
Not she doesn't just want to annoy me. She's not like she's family member. She's not doesn't want to annoy the bride. And then when I look out over the phone, I'm like, oh, okay. Then I shot it, and that changed the whole perspective of that one image is their favorite, and it doesn't even show the bride.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know
We've
what I
had
mean?
that a couple of times where we have like a family member by us shooting or whatever. I remember the first time was like years ago, and it was the dad, and he was like, "I've been photographing her since she was a little girl. I'll be out of your way if you don't mind." Like he came with us to the portrait session. I was like, "It's fine. Like that's your daughter. Like as long as you're not directing or being in the way." And then more recently, this past
Oh
year,
no, you know what's funny? The bride was like, General, can you take out your claws to tell my dad to put his camera away? Like the contract, you know, we have content in our contract. And just to add to it, when it was time for the father-daughter dance, they called his name and he's busy photographing tables. So he had to put his camera down and then
Oh
go
my
dance
gosh.
with his
yeah.
daughter.
And then this past year, this sweet old lady, she was so sweet. She's like the godmother or
I
something
think she
to
was
the
like
bride,
her
great aunt or something.
yeah, it was the
She was with
aunt.
her little cell phone all
No, she
day.
had like a little
Oh, a little point and
a
shoot.
little point and shoot.
All day with her little point and shoot. And then I would always move out of the way, let her get her shot. And then at the end of the day, she came up to me. She was like, "You were the nicest photographer that I've ever like been around. You know, you didn't tell me to stop taking pictures. Like she was like, thank you so much. You know, this was my niece or whatever, and these pictures are very meaningful to me." And I was like,
Mhm.
100%. Like we are not. Yes, that's our job, but we're not the most important people in the room. Like
Mhm.
they're people who want to get their own stuff as well.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they have their own reasons, and
Mhm.
I'm not here to judge, and but yeah, so it comes down to the same thing. It's like you kind of adapt and know the story behind it, and do the best out of it for the couple, right? Like that's what they hired you for.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't get too many family members with phones these days. It's very rare. Maybe once in a blue moon, they'll pop out into the aisle, but that's the only time they annoy me. Like, but even then,
Yeah,
it's mild. It's not too bad. I don't want to kill
yeah.
somebody.
I had actually one. It's on my Instagram. If you scroll later on, I'll show it to you later on. Where I turned around, everybody had a phone while they're coming in the reception hall, and you couldn't tell which one is a videographer. I
That's
swear.
crazy.
Yeah, that was
Everyone
crazy.
had
Everybody.
Yep. Yep.
those tell a story now because a friend of ours posted up a picture. Gary, he posted that bride and there was what's it called, processional,
Professional,
in the
yeah.
ceremony, and the bride's coming down, and it's just a sea of cell phones up. And we all just said now, like, it's more of a story now. That's just the way
That's
the
it.
world is.
That's
So
it.
it's storytelling. It's not telling them to put their phones away is not real. Like
Mhm.
they're gonna have their
No,
phones
no,
off.
no. You have no choice. It's up to them to decide if they want to like put it down.
Yeah. There's a
Mhm.
picture. There's a picture. I don't know. It probably came out years ago. There's a picture of the Pope coming out, and then you have all these phones in the air. Everyone's trying to get a picture of the Pope. It's like had to have been like
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of phones up in the air,
Mhm.
right? That's such a
Yeah.
powerful image. I think it's a
It-
powerful
Mhm.
image. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
that
It
moment.
shows the time that we're in too. Like
Yeah.
we're in a time where like that's everybody's camera. Like it's not. It's this right here is a phone last.
Mhm.
It does everything but make phone calls for me. Like so it's when people bust their phones out, like think about 30 years ago, it would have been cameras. It would have been a whole bunch of cameras up there. So
My mom calls me. I'll be like, wait, it must be an emergency. Why is she
Emergency.
calling?
So true.
Yeah, nobody calls.
So
Nobody
true.
calls. You need
Yep.
an appointment. If you want to call me, you need an appointment. So,
Yeah.
100%.
when somebody calls me, I text them back.
What do you want?
Oh
what do you
yeah.
want?
Yep. Yep. Why are you calling me?
Telling me.
I'm busy.
So when you're going throughout a wedding day and you're capturing this and capturing that, I imagine you probably have some, not really a formula, and not really a shot list, but you have things that you want to make sure that you have in a delivery, right? As a photographer, there are things that you know you have to deliver. But while you're creating these images, are you ever in, I don't know, like competition mode? Like, all right, well, I have a little bit of time now. Let me see if I can make something really award-winning worthy, or do these things just happen organically? I was like, oh my God, that was a great. I can't believe I took that. Let's make magic out of that.
Kind of a bit in between both. So the way I see it is that the bride and groom have zero care about any of my awards, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
in here, either, well, I'm sure you guys too, but they hire me for what they see on their website, and if they like what they see, that's what matters. But so I try to deliver, like you said, what they hired me for. But whenever I have a few more moments alone, I try to see, like, is there something more I can do in this area that I have a creative freedom, right? So the way I see it, if I don't have time, like sometimes I just have like 20 minutes with a couple or 10 minutes with a couple, then I'll rely on, like, you know what, let's shoot the moments and we'll hope for the best. And then when I go through the images, I have a folder I create later on where I put it as a potential, right? So, and I just leave them there, and maybe one day I come back to them. Sometimes, like after 2-3 years, I'm like, oh, okay, I could try this
Mhm.
one to submit as a competition. But
Mhm.
the mode itself, on the day of, it's a bit more complicated unless I see, like, well, first of all, unless we have the time. But if we do have the time, if I see the perfect, for me, lighting, like I love harsh light, I love sun, I love all of those. I don't like those bland, regular cloudy areas. It's not my style.
Mhm.
So I really love those contrasty style, and I'm like, you know what? Let me. If there's something crazy like this, I wanna use it. Other than that, I'm not in that mode. I'm really in the mode of, like, I want to deliver the most I can for the wedding, for the bride and groom, and even if I have to deliver more than what they expect now, especially with the I don't care anymore, really.
Mm.
But so I deliver as much as I can of really good images because I want to focus on the moments. Like
Mhm.
sometimes I have like hundreds of images just of the reception because they're throwing them in the air and I'm like capturing four,
Mhm.
5, 6. But which one to choose? I'm like, no, keep them all. I don't have to go through one by one to edit them. No,
Mhm.
keep them all jumping in the air. I don't care anymore, right?
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So I shoot for the moment now.
Mm.
Yep.
Nice.
Now, when you
Yep.
were first starting, when you were starting your career as you're developing and evolving, did you have any kind of inspiration, any photographers or artists, present or past, that really inspired you and how you approach
Yeah,
photography?
yeah, I have a few actually. First on lighting, it was when my first WPPI, I saw Joe McNally.
Mm.
Um,
No,
Mhm.
he's a legend.
uh, so I did a photo walk with him. I was able to secure a
Oh,
spot,
nice.
and I got a photo walk with him, and he was showing how to do high speed sync outside with speed lights, and I'm like,
Yep.
amazing. So that's first thing. Then there was Jerry as well that I really liked his calm approach in a way. But then as I evolved, there's a few people that I really loved the documentary style, and one of them is a couple, two man.
Sure.
Mhm.
They shot my wedding actually as well.
Nice.
Ah.
So I really loved the that approach,
Uh-huh.
and so I try to mix a bit of both, a bit of let's do some time not documentary style, and then
Mhm.
I really love their approach of documentary style, and I wanted to mix a little bit both for my wedding day and for my couples, and I felt that formula is actually really good, so they get the best of both worlds.
When did you decide to start submitting for competition?
I I tried my first image actually 9 years ago or 10 years ago. Just like my when I first going seriously for WPPI, one of my friends who used to go, he goes, "Oh, submit." I submitted this Muslim girl with a hijab, waiting for the groom to come and take her for the first look, and then the go to the wedding, the couple shoot,
Mhm.
and I got an 80 for. I submitted 4 images, and I got an 80 for that, and I'm like, oh, cool. So, and I heard it judging, and I'm like, oh, okay, that could be fun. So I got my first 1 point then, and but what I really liked about it is the way that they talk about the images. You learn
Mhm.
a lot from that, and then I'm like, oh my god, like this is like a revelation. It's different than your mom telling you, oh my god, you're the best in the world, right? So it really, really changed my perspective. And then I started going to WPPI just for the competition, just to watch it, and then go back home.
Mhm.
I stayed maybe a few hours in the day for the convention, then my flight was in the afternoon. I just went to watch
Wow.
judging,
Mm.
different rooms from 8 to 5 both days. I don't know if you used to watch back then, but it was different
Yeah.
rooms.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's what I used to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I did everything, even in camera raw, in camera artistry, like everything.
Landscape. Yeah, me
Everything.
too.
Just sit down. I brought my Costco snacks, water. That's the whole, and I learned so much from that. Like starting taking notes, like shadows and blacks and highlights. Shoot for the highlights. All these, because I didn't come from a photography background, so I was like, okay, let me learn like that, and that's what helped
That's
me the most.
amazing.
Yeah.
You didn't go to anything else. You just sat in print comp for 2 days.
Yeah, like sometimes not every over the last 10 years, but like three or four of these
No, I
years
love that.
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
only that.
I did the same. I think I sat in like 2 years before I finally had the guts to submit, right? But that's one thing that I'm grateful that the competition is still around and it's been modified to make it last. But that's one thing that's missing,
Yes.
that I miss. And it's not going to be the same. But like I said, it's just one of those things that was so beneficial to people that would just like in your case, you would just go in just for the comp, and it was extremely helpful. I also learned a lot, and one of my favorite things was watching the big names argue with each other, like on the panel.
Oh,
And yeah, they would go at
actually,
it.
the funniest part, Ali, right? So
Mhm.
Ali Schuler, okay. I was there in the room when they were judging his grand award image.
Mhm.
I
The
was
one
there
he got,
too.
yeah, the gold distinction.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And then I started following him then. And then I'm like, wow, he's such an amazing photographer and he's so good. But then after I met him at WPC at World Photography Cup, where I got the bronze award
Mhm.
last year. I got the third place. And I met him there. I go, wait, you're Ali. He's like, yeah. Like, oh my God, I've been following you since your gold distinction. And it's through these competitions that's what you're saying, is that when all the big names came and started arguing about this image and talking about this image, and
Mhm.
you learn so much about the emotion side, about the lighting, this, that, and I don't feel you get that value anywhere else for the money.
Mhm.
Like it's free. You just pay your plane ticket
Mhm.
and hotel. It used to cost me just like $500-600 just to go there for the competition and go back home
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
with
And,
fresh
and your
ideas.
your Costco snacks, your Costco snack, and your gallon of water.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I would tell everyone too. Like, you just need one judge to resonate with that image, and then they'll fight to the death to get that image to win, like to score at least a silver or to go even higher. And sometimes you're at the other end of that too. The judges are There's one person that doesn't like the image, and the rest do. And I feel like that was so
Actually,
great to see that.
it's so funny you're saying this, because the same person that pushed the image a lot for that image that I won uh, also downgraded one of my images 8 years ago. The same judge. And I went up to her and I go to her, I go, listen. But I thanked her, by the way. I thanked her.
Mhm.
There was a reason for that. And I'm like, it's because of you. Like, it went.
You harbor that
I think-
anger. You harbor that anger for 8 years. You're training like Rocky every day. Like I'm gonna show her.
But I think no, it was for a good reason. She was really, it was worth it, and and I, because of her, I learned a lot. But it's so funny you're saying this, but it's so true that
Mhm.
like this, I feel if you want to grow a little bit more as a photographer, just even if you don't want to submit, just watching this competition is like it's a whole other level,
Yeah.
and I hope they bring it back.
Yeah, I strongly, that's another thing I recommend a lot of people to do too. If you're not going to submit your stuff for awards, at the very least, submit it among your peers or at least people that you respect, and have them go through your work a little bit, get some feedback. Because the thing is, when you're so close to your baby, right, it's really hard to really remove yourself from that. Because to everyone, right, their children are the most beautiful things in the world. But it's true. There's ugly babies out there. You know what I mean? There are ugly babies out there, but the thing is, the parents probably disagree with you, right? So that's why you have to kind of remove yourself from it and really get some genuine feedback, and that's the only way that you grow.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
But
the
you
only way you
also
grow.
have to be willing. You have to be willing to put your guard down
Yeah,
and accept the feedback and critique.
very good point.
Because people, especially online and photography Facebook groups, people will put up stuff for critique, but then they'll hit you with every single excuse on why they did it this way and why they couldn't do it that way. But that's not what we're arguing here. You're asking us for a critique, right? So we're telling you
Mhm.
what possibly could have done better. We don't know the circumstances. Just take it for what it is. But also, if you feel strong about something, and let's say your friends tell you, oh, you know what, you shouldn't submit it, right? You got to go with your gut too. Sometimes you have to go with what you feel, could possibly win an award or just for the critique.
Mhm.
Well, because I don't submit. I don't. My work is not following trends. Like for example, those blurry plates or all these. I don't. I don't really do that too much.
Hmm.
Probably a lot of people like that, and some photographers want to follow these trends. Uh, Good for them. But I'm more of a timeless type of photography. So I would like to know the rules. So for me to be able to break them or to go above and beyond and try to do something beautiful while following like visually attractive photography, like in directors and movie theaters. Some of them, who filmed. Like you watch a movie, you don't even know who the director is, but as soon as you watch it, you know who it is because
Mhm.
you know the style. They're following certain color tones, so certain
Hmm.
uh, format, certain cropping. Kind of the same way, right?
Yeah. This morning when I woke up, I was going through my feed. I was like, "Oh, Wes Anderson has a new movie." I didn't even see
Yeah.
who was the director, right? But as soon as the first couple of frames showed up, I was like, "Oh, Wes Anderson has a new movie out." The
Mhm.
color palette, the
That's it.
style, the compositions, it's so distinctive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like
The
Michael Bay and
trends.
Destroying New York.
Always. Always.
Same thing.
Some of the trends, some of the stuff that's trendy now, like it hurts my soul
Me too.
because our whole careers we're trying to strive to get the sharpest images and images with the least amount of noise and straightening images, and now people are just putting out whatever the hell they want, like Dutch angles, like blurriness, like that don't even make sense, and it's just like it's so hard to break away from everything that we've learned over the years and strive to perfect. And here you have like these youngsters just coming in and just breaking all the rules, right? And
Rolando, they're
they're
not selling photos; they're selling vibes. That's what they were talking
Vibes,
about.
yeah.
That's what they were talking about
Yeah.
yesterday. It's about vibes.
it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to accept it. It's so hard to accept it. It's so hard to jump on those trends either. And
We
it's
sprinkle
tough.
it in here and there,
Yeah, that's
just
why I
not the
try
Dutch
not to do
angles.
that.
Yeah.
Oh man, sometimes it hurts my eyes, and then you're like wonder, it's like, oh, I got one of them, like, oh, I got a bad review or I got a bad something. I'm like I totally get it, but I mean, if you're following trends, it means that we don't know who shot it. So it could be like they could hire you, and then this year there's a new trend, and then you're trying it out, but they didn't hire you for that new trend. They hired you for what they saw last year, right? They didn't hire you for what they're about to see. But
Yeah.
contrary to what we do, and I know Rolando and whatnot, I saw your work, and I know that in 10 years, someone looks at the image, they're still like, wow, that's me, rather than, oh, that was a trend.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because with Dutch angles now, when we got married in 2008,
That was the style.
that was the style.
All of our wedding
And when
photos.
we
Mine
got our wedding
too.
photos back,
I have to look at them like this.
my
like,
dad was like, "Why is everything crooked?" And then I
Yeah.
defended it to the core. I was like, "Nothing's crooked. It's fine. That's how we shoot."
Oh, I want
And
to show
then
you
as the
something.
years
Hold on.
went
I have a canvas here. Hold on one second.
Yes, please, please.
Is it a Dutch angle? And then now we see all these Dutch angles, and I was like, "Oh God!" So
Yep.
bad.
Woohoo!
Wait, is that you?
Amazing.
Is that what? Is that you guys or something he
No,
shot?
that's a
No,
client.
so,
right?
yeah, somebody, something he shot.
You
Like
can't
they're
even
about
see
to
the couple.
slide down.
You can't even see the couple. The couple's like over like this small, falling off the
But-
edge of the picture.
What I will say that I appreciate is the rawness of the style. Like some of these styles right now that we're joking about, they're so raw that, and they're just breaking all the rules, and there's an appreciation for that, right? Because they don't care, and they're not thinking about all these technical aspects as they're shooting. They're just looking, snapping, looking and snapping.
Vibes. I'm
And
telling you,
yeah,
vibes.
and I feel like sometimes as photographers, where we try to be perfectionists, and we tend to let these moments slip away because we're trying to get the perfect, light, or we're trying to adjust our shutter speed or our aperture to a certain, focal length. I mean, it's not focal length, depth of field or whatever. And then these people are just snapping whatever they have on their hand. They're just snapping, and then they post it up, and it is
Well,
what it is, right? And
well,
people
Rolando,
appreciate that.
yeah, go ahead.
Rolando, you got to stop talking about my wife that way.
No, but she gets
Me and you're
she gets
gonna
the
have
raw,
words.
real-
Me and you're gonna have words. You keep talking about my wife that way.
They're breaking all the rules.
It's the
Hey, but she has
feeling,
the
okay? The
vibes.
feelings.
She has the vibes. Hello, she keeps us young, okay?
but like I said, I truly appreciate it because they're coming into the industry with a different eye. Um, but like I said, I appreciate it. I
Well, I
do.
think
We sprinkle it in, but we also
Yep.
try to stay true to how we are currently shooting as well.
it's always important to shoot for the moment first, even if you're going to miss a bit of the exposure and whatnot. That's always important for sure. But for me, if my mindset remains about being true to why they hired me for, and I always have an assistant. So I told her, of course, try new things. Of course, try even trends and whatnot. You can try that. But if you're going to change your core, you won't have your identity anymore. And then you'll be able to, nobody will recognize you anymore about what you do for. So I think it's a fine balance between, hey, they hired you for that, or try new things, but as an extra, not as a replacement of your style. It's just wanted to,
Yep.
you know,
Mhm.
it's a fine line. It's a fine line.
Yeah, that's one thing that we, well, at least I talk about on the podcast every so often, is like, trying to, like, of course you don't want to get left behind either with, with the styles and stuff, but trying to find that fine line is a struggle sometimes to adapt. But I have no problem, like, sprinkling stuff in, because, like, at the end of the day, like, if the clients are sending us, we get that sometimes, they'll send us like a couple of photos as inspiration, like, hey, I want to do this. I'm like, cool, I'll do it. I have no problem. I probably won't show it, but at the end of the day, they're our bosses, right? If they want one image, like, it doesn't hurt you to just do it.
Right. Yep.
They want table shots? You got it. You want table shots? I'll hang out with you for 30 minutes.
That's right. Yep.
We'll do table shots.
Exactly.
Whatever. So I
Whatever
guess,
you want.
yeah. So the other question I was very curious about, because we do. I was like, this is an international podcast. No, we spoke with one Italian, and you're our second Canadian, right? But but like we as Americans, we, especially in even our local market, in New Jersey, New York, Philly, it's very competitive. It is a funny year for many of us. It's it's definitely nothing like 22 and 23 for us, right? It's a little slower for many of us. What's the situation up where you guys are? Like, is it?
It's very similar. For sure, for the photographers that are charging 2,000-3,000, they're having the best year ever. But because people are cutting down on costs, so they're trying to find the budget photography. So for them, I can't really talk about them because it doesn't compare to what we charge, I guess. But it's a similar. I even spoke to, I have friends that are planners that normally I get like 5-6 weddings from them every year, just from them. Now I have like 1 or 2. So it's kind of a struggle a little bit, depending on what level you are in the market, right? If you're mid to high, that's where you're struggling. But if you're mid to low, that's what you're doing really well. I feel that's where it is. It's similar to New York and New Jersey. I spoke to a few people, and it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So what do you bring to the table that makes, I guess, you competitive in your marketplace, or the people that you're trying to your audience, your people? Like, what are you? I guess my question is like, what are you doing to get customers these days?
Actually, I haven't been changing much the way I'm doing.
Hmm.
I expect it to be a little bit less, and I'm not struggling with that. But the way I differentiate is that it's more about you see my style. Whatever you see on my website is whatever the clients get, and I can show you full galleries, slideshows. You'll see the style remains the same in terms of what you expect, and my Instagram. I'm not really like the most active person, but at the same time, what you see there is not a facade of just my best work. It's just some work that I like, but other best work are on my galleries that you can go and check. And so what I'm trying to say that is that I'm transparent in the way I deliver, and you know what to expect when you get there. And but I'm not begging for work in a way where if you feel I'm too expensive or stuff like this, then that's totally fine. But I know what I'm worth, or I know what I'm going to deliver, and that's what you're going to get. And normally, people appreciate that the way I deliver these things, and that's what I do to get these weddings.
Hmm. Where are you getting most of your work? You mentioned it's a lot of planners that you have relationships with. Is that where you're
Yeah,
getting?
that's it. Yeah,
Oh.
so I get them. I get them mainly at Instagrams, Instagram,
Mm.
and word of mouth.
Okay. Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, it's like us. Yep.
Yeah. Most spot.
Yeah.
And are you finding people up there? Are they booking more last minute?
Yeah,
Because we're just still getting people from this year, like
I
5 months from now.
just met someone yesterday. Actually, 2 weeks ago, someone messaged me. He's like, "Are you available May 31st?" I'm like,
Yep. We just booked a May
like-
wedding. We just booked a May
Yeah.
wedding too. I'm like,
so me, I'm like, May 31st, and I just booked an August wedding now.
Yep.
Wow.
And I had to ask every time, 2025 or 2026.
Right. Yep.
And
Guys.
like 2025, you're like, what?
I was shooting a wedding this weekend. The lead salesperson was there. The sales manager was there, and she was like, "Hey Ben, you're available on June whatever." I was like, "Next year?" She's like, "No, this year." I was like, "Are you serious? It's like 2 months from now, right?" They're like,
Yep.
"Yeah, this is what we're living with now." I mean,
Yep, it's happening.
must be nice to have that kind of money to just you could throw a wedding in 2 months. Must be really nice.
Well,
We're gonna have to start putting in our stories that our price is gonna go up 25% due to the tariffs.
Now.
but it's crazy because I do shoot a lot of Jewish weddings, and a lot of them, very rare, they book 1 year in advance. It's always a few months before.
That's
Mm.
true.
Okay.
But now it's a bit more even. Man, I did one wedding that I signed the contract. I did a wedding in February, and I signed the contract in end of January.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You're moving
Oh,
so
man.
fast.
And the couple is that there's no money issues. They're a very high end place location,
Uh-huh.
Mm.
easy. And then I'm like, wow. I remember me and my wife, when we wanted to prepare for a wedding, we're like a year and a half in advance.
Same.
Now
Mhm.
nobody does that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Looks
Yeah.
like
I don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do
pay
it
for
either. And we were eating eggs while my wife was eating eggs and drinking lemonade. That was her diet,
Oh my
That's all
God.
we could afford.
I was eating tuna fish sandwiches that I was making at home to save for our wedding.
Seriously. Oh my goodness.
I don't.
And they're booking it so fast. I don't know. I don't
Yeah, they're booking
understand.
our short term too, man. Yeah, I don't. I don't
Yeah,
know how
I
to
just
do it.
think-
I booked a wedding in February for beginning of April, and I'm shooting their engagement this coming Sunday, and then their wedding the following week. Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
At that point, like, why even do the engagement? Like-
Yeah, I was like, yep.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because it's good to hear it from an international photographer as well, that it's not just here, because we've kind of siloed ourselves and thinking it's like an American problem, and like
No.
because of all the issues that we have going on right now.
Yeah,
but I
people
guess
seem to
it's
think. Yeah.
become-
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's become, I think it's just the market across the world is resettling after the COVID
Yeah.
rush and COVID madness, but now also the booking time is different than what it was pre-COVID. I don't know. It's weird.
But that's the same thing with the real estate. They always made it seem like it was a U.S. problem. It's a worldwide problem with the way the marketing, the the housing market is right now. It's mainly all over the world. Everything's overpriced.
Everyone's complaining about inflation. Everyone's complaining about all these things. It's a worldwide problem. It's not just us. So when people are angry at the wrong things and the wrong people, I think sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So anyway, I have in my notes here something about your past with pizza.
Or your pizza. I don't know. I said we love pizza, and I was like, we love pizza. We make pizza.
Yeah. Fun fact: my brother and I, we used to work at the mall at the pizza place when we were teenagers in high school. That was a fun fact. But anyway, I want to hear about your pizza. Villa Pizza. So we were trying to like bring New York pizza, New York style pizza down to Maryland. It didn't work. It wasn't a big hit. They didn't like it. So they're lost.
Maryland pizza.
It's not that good. Maryland pizza is not that good. So tell us about your pizza journey, Rabih.
No, because my family has been in the restaurant business for a very long time. We owned like 3 restaurants, two in Florida. We owned like about 3, 4 here in Canada. So my mom is an actual like she's a chef, and that's where I kind of have it, and I got it as a gift as a pizza oven, and since then I've been doing like those crazy concoctions of pizzas, and I guess we used to do pizza parties here with a pool party in the summer, so kind of became a thing. So that's it. I've been upgrading my pizza game, you know.
You know, at the end of the day, it comes down to the water. The water affects how the dough behaves. Yeah,
dehydration.
The New York. That's why New York pizza crust and like the New York bagels are the way that they are. It's because of our water supply. So so are you in Montreal?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Karis and I, we were planning on going to Montreal.
Yeah.
Well, but you're welcome to come. If you're here,
we don't want you guys to like stab us with a pitchfork when we get off the train. You know. It's like you're
not welcome.
We'll never come back. Yeah, just tell everyone we're from Europe. No, we were planning to come by train. We saw this amazing Amtrak deal that'll take us from New York to Montreal for like $80. I was like, this is amazing. $80 to sit on a train.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
That's actually one way. So round trip, it's like $100, like $70-$80. So you have half of the info correct. as always.
We might not we might not be able to get back into the country if we leave. That's the other thing too. You know what I mean?
But you're more than welcome. You let me know if you're coming. I can refer you to a few places for sure. And you're welcome.
Does your family still have restaurants open or no?
No, we sold them, but I still have my pizza oven, so you're more than welcome to.
Let's go.
What pizza oven do you have?
I have like those, like the one with the fire that goes like this, you know, the dome.
Brick with the
wow, brick oven pizza.
He has a legit one.
He has a legit one, not like a uni oven or something. He has a legit one.
This is a real pizza oven.
I think we might need to do Focus AF Goes to Montreal episode. You know,
that's it.
Yes.
You know, that sounds like.
But you said you always come down to New York, right? Because your wife, her work. Yeah, you said you always come down to New York.
So I come there often, not always, but often, yes. She opens stores all across the US and the world, but more in the US. So and she goes a lot on the east side, like New York, Boston. There's also Florida. She goes all these areas a lot.
So fun. Next time you're down here, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're a good time.
We definitely won't make you pizza, but we'll take you to get pizza somewhere.
Okay, that's good.
And you won't go hungry. If you hang out with us, you won't go hungry, and you won't be sober either. I don't know if you drink, but
no, definitely not sober.
I do drink.
So are you have you already started pulling images for next year's competition?
I did actually. I'm working on one now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm working on one that I took not too long ago, but like I said, I put something called awards, like a folder on my drive, and then I go potentials, and then I just drag them there. I edit, and if something comes up, something comes up. If not, I skip it. You know.
That's smart.
Yeah.
What category? So I know not to enter in that category.
Okay, you want to know? You want to know something funny? Is that image, by the way, I wasn't gonna submit it, right? Because
Hmm.
before WPPI, I don't know if you knew, there was a category called wedding details. They don't have that
Yep.
anymore.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
so
rid of it.
I had to ask Melissa. I'm like, hey, I don't know where to put that category, where to put this image. And she asked me a few questions. She goes, well, follow the rules. She goes, listen, if it's shot on a wedding day, bride and groom, and no major edit, then it's bride and groom wedding day, right? Like, you have no choice but to submit it in that. And that's how I won with that image. So I have one more image to submit in that, uh,
Nice.
bride and groom, but without faces again. But it's
Mm.
different style.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Other than that, I think I used to do very well in PJ, so I want to
Yeah.
try more in PJ. But lately, I haven't done that many PJs. So I want to resubmit in PJ.
Hmm.
That's
It's a good category. Recently, not a lot of people have been entering, so I
Yeah.
had three of the three of the
Wow.
10 entries were mine. So that tells you that there wasn't much to choose from. So
There were
I think
11.
right now
There were 11 submissions.
yeah, it's a good time.
I'm
That's a
It's a good time to enter that category.
I'm still very
Like
bitter
'cause
about my
79.
79s. So
I think again, like Rolando said, you can't be lighthearted with that. I I think I've gotten so many 79s and under that you gotta have to get a thick skin and like try to be like whatever on to the
Mm-hmm.
next one. Or
uh-huh.
just remember my first year submitting, I got 180, but I did get for 2 3 years like 0 points. But then
mm,
just last year, uh, I got 7 out of 8 images go over 80, right? So
Whoa.
Wow.
kind of like a big jump in terms of learning from that.
yep,
You
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
know,
correct.
7 out of 8.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
gotten that before.
Wow.
mm.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's incredible.
You also have to look at the past images as well to kind of see what does well in certain categories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You also don't want to be copying. Like one image that I see every year, and I already know like possibly who does it just by seeing the image, is the silhouette on the wall with the bride or groom like lit well.
Mm-hmm.
That image has been so overdone.
Yeah.
And I remember like the first time I saw it for print comp, it got really high scores. Now it's like, yeah, it's nice, it's lit well, it's
Mm-hmm. Yep.
80, 81.
Mm.
So
Well,
you have to look at the past and see what kind of has won in the past and what has done well to kind
you
of
have to
go
look
in
at
that
the
route.
impact. You have to look at the impact,
Yep.
and I feel a lot of people want to follow certain trends. It's like I think I mentioned to you guys, but you remember the picture with the stairs going like this,
Sure.
Yeah.
with spiral and the bride and groom at the bottom. Well,
Yeah.
Yep.
the first time someone submitted that, it got like a first place. But
Mm-hmm.
now you submit that, unless you do something crazy,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way you'll place with that image because
Yep.
it's been
Hmm.
so overdone that
Mm-hmm.
how many times are gonna read like you're gonna awe the judges, right? You can't really
Yep.
like
Yep.
so you gotta think outside the box, and sometimes it could be simple stuff, and that's what I
Mm-hmm.
like about PJ is that you can submit simple stuff and uh, as long as you're in the right time and place,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're good to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do have a question for you, Robbie. So what are you doing maybe even the off season or when you're not shooting on the weekends to keep your creative knives sharp? What are the things you're looking at? What are the things you're reading? What are the things you're watching to kind of like, all right, well, this looks really great. I want to do something like that in my work too. Like, what's that creative process look like?
Very good question. So I go to a lot of these conventions anyways. So in winter I try to go see conventions like there's maybe one or two in Canada, small ones, and I also go to the US such imaging or WPPI or stuff like this to stay within the industry and talk to people. That's one. Two, it's more I give small workshops here and there to some aspiring photographers, but that at the same time helps me develop my skills or or try to be a bit more confident in my work. I do all of that, and other than that, I keep in touch with my vendors, the people that support me, and friends like you guys, and then we keep chatting about like random stuff, and we follow each like just keeping in the loop within photography. I feel just to keep your mind uh, always active. That, but not really by force, and not like, oh, I have to do it today or I have to do it today, but just that your mindset has to remain within the photography if you want to stay relevant. Like, not like put your camera away and then you go like, okay, we'll see you back in the new season, and a lot of people do that and they don't grow really, right? Like, my cameras are always here around, and if I see my kids running around in the backyard or in the snow, I'm gonna take my camera and then like I'll shoot whatever I can and try to learn new skills, new lighting. I think one of the things I learned is from shooting my kids on some sort of lighting, about like backlight and how to light them, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could maybe apply that to my wedding.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just small little things without actually pushing yourself too hard, just to stay relevant. Even chatting we have little groups with photographers. And we just chat. We go out for lunch, and then we discuss any of that.
But
Wait,
before
sorry.
everything, can you grab your grand award and show it to us?
Well, first, that was so funny when they go like when Jerry opened it and he goes.
Oh, they give you the envelope. That's so
Oh.
funny. It's like a Grammy.
It's so funny, but yeah. So
Oh, there it is.
Nice.
If you want to sell that, just let me know.
okay, my name is not on it, so you're good.
Got it. Oh, it's not on it.
I
Right?
think I think
Yeah.
I think I can get that on AliExpress for $2.99.
I think so too. But it's a thought that counts.
Yes, exactly. I love it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
what-
what are you looking forward to for the next year? What's next for you?
So last year I got my master's.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Congrats
thank
on
you.
that.
And this year I got the grant, so that's really good. But
Mhm.
I have about 27 points, I think now. So I want to try to get my double masters. I'll be the only one, I think, in my province to get that. So I'll try to at least achieve that. But to be honest with you, I'm sure you know as well, as soon as you show up at WPPI, you already feel inspired by when you talk to people, and when you're surrounded with so many amazing people. And I want to continue that trend. And it's funny that I'm getting recognized a little bit more in the States. In Canada, I've been recognized a few times, but in the States, not as much. And it's nice to be recognized, and people like the community is so amazing. And I want to continue that because, look, I went from finance, a lonely job, for another kind of lonely job, but at the same time, people like you guys make it not so lonely anymore. So the community is,
Aw.
so it's really cool, All right.
Is now that you mentioned that, how is the photography community in Canada? Is it more isolated than how it is here in the States?
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's not the same as you guys. It's really not the same. But we have a few people that are really like, we're close to each other, but it's not the same caliber. Not caliber in terms of quality of images, but like the closeness and the community vibe.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But
We
look,
definitely need that.
look, caliber. For example, in Canada, we have 3 first place at WPPI at Icon this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have Cassandra Jones, we have Andrew Hort, and myself. We got first place, and there's a few second place and third place too. So, no, we have good talent here. The only thing is that I feel it's so spacious.
Yeah.
You don't have that sense of closeness.
Yeah. Everyone's
Mhm.
spread out.
Everyone's spread out.
Yeah, and the plane ticket, like from here to Toronto, which is a 6-hour drive, it's like $600.
What?
What?
Wow.
600. That's a very. How far by plane?
Very
It's gotta be. It's
expensive.
gotta be like 1 or 2 hours by plane.
1
right?
hour, 1 hour, 1
1
hour.
hour. Yeah.
That's
Up
like,
and
that's
down.
like us going to Florida. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
So,
yeah.
by the way, I went to Japan for $650 back and forth.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm talking about 600 Canadian, so that's like $20 American.
Not for long. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
No.
How much time do we have? You know?
No, but the plane tickets though within Canada, unless you're ultra flexible, you're like, oh, I'll go on a Tuesday random uh, next month for a few days. Yeah, you can get a ticket for $150 or 200. But like, who does that really? If you're not gonna do like something like meeting with photographers or whatnot, so you always have to plan. And so since there's not a lot of big airports, flying from certain places is like sometimes $800. $700. It's expensive, so
Wow.
that's why it's not as close as here.
Wow.
Yeah, like if you go far enough north, you're just gonna get none of it. The Canadian gets it. My friends don't get it.
I got it.
What conferences in Canada are good to go to?
Well, Gary and Kim.
Oh yeah.
So they're also going there. I'm part of an association, but they do a Canadian Imaging Conference every year, and one of them is end of April, which is in Ottawa this year. But every year it's a new province. It's really cool. It's not as big as WPPI, but it's very kind of close by, and that's where I actually met a lot of the like companies like Tamron and stuff like this, where I got to know them a little bit more. But no, I mean, it's a cool thing, but it's just that, again, because we're so little, the pricing is not as attractive as WPPI or where you can get a ticket for $100 if not less.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, that's so rare.
Anything you want to add, Rabih?
No, well, first of all, thank you very much. It was really really cool hanging out with you guys. Sorry for the internet here. I think it's because of
you're good.
Because of the tariff there, You're not allowed to talk to Americans. But no, like, I mean, it's really nice talking to you guys. I've been I want to go more and more towards the States to get to know you more on a personal level, and like just to hang out and shoot more. So hopefully next year and the year after that'll be a possibility when things calm down. But other than that, honestly, it's been a real pleasure, and you guys do amazing work. So it's also much appreciated that you have me on today.
Thanks for being on. When we met you, and we heard your story, we told Ben and Carrie, like, all right, because we were in the process of planning on future guests, and me and Jen felt that you were a great candidate because you were so humble. Your work is amazing, and at the same time, like, we're catching you at the height right now when you just won a grand award, right? So we want to thank you for hopping on and spending some time with us.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. It's really cool. Yeah, I'm still like I'm not gonna say in shock, but I didn't know you would be called to get a grand award. So you're like, okay, when it was, I know who won. I know what. When I got the first place, he said, "Oh, the Canadians will be happy." That I had a feeling right away as soon as he said that. Okay, maybe it's me. Maybe I was the only Canadian in that category. So that was like, and then I had to put my jacket. But then I was sitting down, and, and then they're calling grand award, and I'm like, cool. I think I know who's gonna be. But I didn't know the process. And then when they called my name, I was like, my table started screaming, and I'm like, nah, it's impossible. Never planned to get a grand award.
Yeah.
And to top it off, they asked you to say a few words.
Oh my god, man! And by the way, I don't know if you guys knew back then, but when you win a grant, the only way to be able to get a grand, to become a grand master in photography,
you needed one grand award.
Yeah, but now not anymore. Yeah. By the way, but I didn't know that. But I was like, oh my god, the grand award. So yeah.
Nice.
And it also gave you 5 points.
Yeah, but not anymore.
Yeah, that sucks.
I know.
What did you get?
Close.
What's his prize? Was it an ice light or no? What was
no.
First place got the ice light, right? The RGB ice light.
Oh my gosh, Jerry!
$1,000.
No, grand award is $1,000 for the unique photo.
Oh,
unique.
that's right. Yeah, Grand
Unique
Award got $1,000
Oh.
from Unique Photo, which is local to us.
So
So,
buy it now
Yep.
before everything.
Buy
is too
my
expensive.
buy my 700. I'll buy it back from you.
I'm like $1,000. I can buy like in Canadian. It's like crazy, you know.
So why don't you
Yes,
tell our
audience.
listeners? Yeah, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you, Rabih?
All right, thank you. Yeah, so simple. It's if you want on my website is Madi Photography, so MADI photography.com.
Mhm.
And the same thing for my Instagram, Madi Photography, MADI Photography, as my handle. They can find me there if they want some tips or tricks. There's nothing hidden. You can ask me, and I can send you how I shot it. I do a lot of those here, like how I shot this image. I even go through editing from A to Z. I can show them how I got the award-winning image, what I did to edit it to be able to get it to that. Because a lot of people want to start in the competition, so I have nothing to hide. So I normally show them the process of going through all of this. So yeah, hit me up if you guys want to learn a little bit more, and hopefully you get inspired.
That's what it's all about.
yeah.
Thank you.
And I advise everyone to go check out his Grand Award image.
Yeah, definitely.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
saw it
Thank
myself
you.
for the first time. It was amazing. I got chills
Yes.
just looking at it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
The vibe. It's the vibe.
Before we go, bye.
We got to do a
Yeah.
selfie real quick.
Go to selfie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Where- I am gonna ask you to hold both your trophies for this selfie, though.
Oh shit. Okay.
Obsessed.
They're heavy. They're heavy. 1 second.
Do it quick.
Alrighty, 1, 2, 3. All right,
Perfect.
we're good.
Cute.
We got
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Madi, so much.
Yeah, thanks for spending some time with us.
No,
If
thank
you're
you
ever in
very
New
much.
York, if you're ever
Oh
in New
yeah,
York,
for sure. For sure.
hit us up, and the four of us will come out and hang out with you.
Yes.
If
Yeah,
we're
well-
ever in Canada around your way, we'll definitely hit you up as well.
Yeah. If you guys come, please. We have you can crash here, and then we can do some stuff here for sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Thank
keep
you.
it clean.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to the Focused AF podcast. If you want to check us out with some clips behind the scenes and all the good stuff on Instagram at focus.af. Ben Lau is supposed to be working on our website at focus-af.com, but we'll get there. It's all good. And
YouTube.
on YouTube, you can find us at Focus AF Podcast. Are you guys Focus AF?
I have to be right now. I have so much work to do.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm busy AF. So I guess that's it. You guys good? Everyone's good?
Yeah.
We're all good. We're
All right,
good.
guys.
See you guys.
On the
later.
next one.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Focused AF is a fun, business-focused podcast for wedding creatives.
Co-hosted by award-winning husband and wife wedding photography teams Ben and Karis.
And Jen and Ro, where we help fellow wedding creatives with their sales and marketing.
With laid-back conversations and real talk with some of our most favorite people in the universe.
And with that being said, are you Focused AF?
I am Focused AF today.
We are Focused AF.
I think I might be Focused AF.
Welcome to the Focused AF podcast.